this is May Vu and my beautiful daughter Maya, who's having technical difficulty right now. So it's kind of fun to watch her struggle with her hair, her lighting, everything else. Poor baby.
Guys, I'm not having that smooth of a morning, okay?
And she's
It's a
still
little
she's
rough.
still hanging in there in the teenage department. She's 19, and so she's still using that as, I'm a teenager, I don't get up at 8 in the morning to talk with you. But
I
we are
don't.
here, and your hair looks fine, my love, just fine. She's gonna keep tweaking it. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm just gonna hold it down
all right, all
slightly.
right. So I don't oh, for those of you who are just tuning in and have not seen any of our late night girl chat broadcasts, we do two genre of broadcasts. Every other week, Mommy and Maya get to talk with each other and catch up on Maya's dating life, her relationship with herself, and all these boys and men, and then on the other 2 weeks, we have our other partner, Kat, and Kat is a major, just an awesome influencer on TikToks and Instagram around teaching girls and young women around sexuality, and men too, around sexuality in her group called the Ungirl. Anyway, so this is our mommy daughter time, which is one of my favorite. I mean, it's my favorite all around because I love these conversations. They're beautiful and touching, and we never know where it goes, but it's always good. And
Very, they're very
I,
just like whatever happens goes. I mean, all of our
yeah.
conversations are very, they're not like random, but they're very just naturally flowing, not planned at all. But especially these ones were like, so, or what are we talking about? And it's just like,
Right. And for those of you who are watching us and who, this is a community message, and I'm going to be doing community, I like doing community messages. It's like for those of you who are watching this and getting off on these conversations, I appreciate you watching. We appreciate you watching and giving us kudos and likes and all that stuff that helps with the social media thing. But we don't appreciate you uh spamming us or coming on to us and doing the hey girl, let's chat, joking off kind of thing. We are not here for that business. We're here to bring really wholesome conversation around sexuality, relationship, all the above, in a very real way. So please support us around that, and don't spam us. Thank you. You will be removed. I do have my magical what should we call narwhal behind the scene, removing all disgusting messages. But your comments are welcome, and please add your comments, and if it's relevant to the conversation, we will definitely include it into our conversation. Okay, now onward with, hi Cindy, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you for appreciating that we are sexy. We do appreciate that, and that's where it ends. And Cindy, I would love to get on your podcast. So let's schedule that sometime. Okay, so I'm ready. Catch me up to speed. What's happening with your dating life? Do you want to like give them a little like where you've been?
where have I been? Okay, so like the quick background recap.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had my 2 year boyfriend. We decided to break up in January ish because I felt it was just time for me to be independent and start exploring myself. And that was pretty much it. I was like, I think I'm ready to just be on my own and just have my freedom and do what I want to do, even though our relationship was super healthy, really loving, it was safe and everything. Like, we still love each other and everything, but I was like, it's time for me time. So we're gonna, it was really hard. It was a big decision, but we're having some fun.
And you both are still really dear to each other and still checking in. And so I mean, that says so much to me. I have a personal principle that I live by is that I want to start relationship well, I want to be in it well, and I want to end well. And that's what I'm seeing is that you started well, you were in it for 2 years very beautifully, and then you and then you and then you end well. That's a sign of sanity.
Yeah,
All
well,
right, so now what's been happening?
yeah, well, I mean, we consider ourselves like we're best friends now. Like that's what we are now. So yeah. Okay, so it's been a little hard, because of COVID and everything. So yeah, everything has to be like online, and there's the mostly cons about that. Like, there's pros and cons, mostly cons about that. Um, and I mean, it's been long enough now, like a good couple months that like there's just kind of a cycle now where it's like there's someone not even that interesting, like just someone new. I'm talking to them for maybe a couple days, and then it kind of dies out, and then okay, next person. And then maybe there's one person where it's like, okay, well, we can meet up and hang out or something, but they just don't really go very far or anything. Um, so right now, I've moved on to my next cycle, and we're on two new ones. This one, I had my first experience of going over to a guy's house and sleeping with him on the first time we hung out. Like, because usually I'm like, okay, you come pick me up, feed me, and that's it, right? Like, just get to know me. Like, I need to feel comfortable first. But this time I was like, yeah, I want to experience that. Like, whatever, let's do it. And it was good. I mean, what am I supposed to say? Like, I don't know. They're still. I'm still playing in the pool of like college boys, and they're just. I really should stop doing that because they're not that good and they're not satisfying in any way, and there's nothing really. It's just yeah. So help me, like, okay, give me something to start talking about because I'm going blank.
Well, I was thinking about what should we talk about today, and I thought about, oh, we could go deeper into the my concept of the PhD in sex, love, and relationship for you, because I really think that, you know, not not every girl, every young woman are in your space, but you have always been a lot more mature faster than your age. Even though you're 19, you operate like you're in your 20s or 30s, like your understanding of your own humanity and your own and other people's humanity uh, since 8 years old, right? I mean, like you've had teachers come to you for relationship advice when you were 8 years old, and you were
Yeah.
like shooting straight, and you know exactly what you're talking about. If anything, you actually were wiser at that time than even now. So, right,
Yeah.
because now you're in it. Now you compromise yourself to be with men to make them happy. Then you didn't care. You weren't in a relationship, so you just saw life and you shoot it. So I really do trust you and trust that and so this is something that I advise, and I also guide my clients on how to do this, because I think women who go out and date to find the one is so wrong, because they don't even know who they are yet. They don't know who they are around their sexuality. They don't know who they are as a human. They don't know what they really want. What they really want is still outdated. It's like the 14-year-old little girl inside them that, wants the Prince Charming, wants the flower, wants the chocolate, wants to live happily ever after, but they don't know shit about themselves. So that's
Mhm.
what gets in trouble, right? So what I do to rehab women to like put them on the right path is to really really help them heal enough so that they can take. I recommend 3 years, 3 years doing a PhD, just like a real PhD that you would do in some kind of university, where you actually declare that this is the time for me to learn about myself, how I love, how I have sex, and how I am in relationship. So learn about myself, how I love, how I have sex, and how I be in relationship. Those are three separate things. They're not together. So often when we advise young girls, we and our daughters, oh, keep
Mhm.
your legs closed because we're afraid that they might get hurt, right? And don't have sex with anybody until you meet the right guy, and then you marry him, and then you have sex, and then you have babies. That's a fucking life sentence in
Yeah.
prison that we pass on to people. So I went through that school and I lived through it and I have you. And I didn't live happily ever after. I didn't know myself. I was not happy and etc. etc. So I really do believe that I highly recommend that you do the same. You declare that the next 2 or 3 years it's your right to experience and experiment with your sexuality, with how you first I would say experiment with your sexuality and then experiment with how you love. You actually already experiment with how you love with your previous boyfriends, even like all three men that you have been with or three
Mhm.
boys that we've been with have you have shown amazing capacity to love with these men. So I'm really so proud of you around that. You're just such a good human being. It just touched me so much to witness you. So now you get to experience with sex, just completely experience with sex. And then when you're done with that experiment, then you can put sex, love, and relationship together. Because when you put relationship in, we get all fucked up here. The brain get all messy because relationship means attachment, means future, means all
Yeah.
this stuff. But when you separate them out and just allow yourself to experiment with sex, and then but not empty sex, not drunken sex, not drugged up sex. That's
Mhm.
not what I'm talking about. But really conscious, wide open, negotiated, good sex, so that you can feel the love for yourself, so that you can develop that grounded love and that grounded power inside you. That would be so awesome, as a toolkit and as what a just a way of like your cornerstone, like who you are. When you own your sexuality, you are powerful, you are strong, and beautiful and thriving. When you're afraid of your sexuality, then you're messed up. So
Yeah.
I stopped being mom and I just got into coach mode, and now I'm gonna like relax and get off of coach mode and say, so now what? What you got from all that? Any of that?
Well, ah, I'm nervous to talk about this. I actually have something really big to talk about, but I've just been nervous about it because I haven't. I mean, it's been very recent. Haven't told. I've told one person, and okay, so I'll just start off like to
What's
me.
what's so nervous about it? What's so scary about it?
Well, I was just gonna say like to me, nothing about this is bad or like should be something to be worried about because it feels right to me and I feel like I'm stable and I'm ready, like all of this. But it's more just getting caught up in other people's judgment and I'm afraid of what other people are going to say and other people are going to be upset.
And now we're live and we're on Facebook and YouTube
Well,
and everything.
everyone
Okay.
on it's more like it's more like I mean, I know you're not going to judge me, so I don't mind telling you, but like telling
Your dad?
yeah, maybe tell. I mean, he wouldn't judge me either, but I'm just nervous to talk about it. Tell my dad, tell my friend, my specific friend. I'm nervous. Just yeah. Anyway, so you just mentioned the whole thing about separating sex and relationships and
Love.
what else? Yourself and like all those things are separate. They don't
Sex, love, and relationship. For
right.
women, we tend to clump them together. Let me have a relationship with you so that I know where I'm going with you. And then I will fall madly in love with you, which means I lost my mind and lost any control of myself. And then I can have sex with you because now I feel safe, which is so crazy. Anyway,
Hmm.
yes, we're unpacking those three. Go ahead.
So I guess I just have to say it. I'm nervous. Okay, so I think I decided. I decided to. How do I say this? I decided to. I guess still include sex in my no, not relationship, but meaning like relationship, friendship, that type of relationship with my ex. So, so I'm practicing separating the three. So, so I think it took us a breakup and some separation to first like kind of find ourselves and grow and like recover from all of that, and then becoming friends again and learning how to be around each other and like what's okay and like what do we feel good with, what do we not feel good with, whatever. um and then I was able to have my freedom and start adventuring off and kind of do my thing. And then he, and then I learned how to talk to him about it because he's my best friend, right? And he's in my life so that he can still be my support about this. And this is why we broke up, and this is why we're still together, not together, still in each other's lives, so that we can help each other grow in that sense. So I practiced telling him about all of that stuff. I'm like, hey, like, this is what's been going on with me. Like, I've been doing this and this. And he's been practicing listening and then being able to hear it from a different point of view than boyfriend, right? So he's like, oh, okay, like, good for you. Like, I'm really happy for you and everything. And and we've grown with that very fast, and like everything is very comfortable, and there's just so many things up here. I'm trying to like form it into words. And so now it's like, now we've kind of come to a place where it's like we still definitely feel love for each other, but it's a different and more, almost more powerful form of love. Like, I feel like before, when we're together, we loved each other kind of because we have to,
Like that
because
pocket, you're
because
mine, and yeah.
yeah, because we've committed to each other and we're attached to each other and we kind of own each other. So it's like we have to love each other. We have to, you know. But now that we're broken up, we love each other because we want to, because we chose to, not because we have to. Like, we don't have to still be in each other's lives, but we want to, and we want to be there for each other. So it's different. And and I don't know, like, and for us, like, still it's our, the way that we show that we care, and the way that we show that we still like, because it's hard for me to say, because in my head, like, it means one thing, but I feel like when I say it, some people could interpret it another way. So when I say, like, to show that we love each other, not the whole toxic-y, like, attachment, like,
Hmm.
relationship type, like, just pure love for each other, right? Like, the how we show that is more of a physical thing. So like hugging or holding hands or something, just so you know.
Hmm.
So um
Miss Leslie, it's that it still is a relationship. It's just a different one you're redefining, and it's beautiful. It's true. And it's so interesting how in relationship, when you try to make it monogamous and it's just you and me, it's actually like a toxic pool. It's like you keep all that toxic stuff inside there, and over time it dies.
yeah.
We keep selling monogamy. It's just crazy. And then when you open it up and you learn to communicate and you learn to ask what you want, you learn to be your real self in that relationship instead of uh um trying to keep the other person, but now you're trying to grow, right? So before, your relationship was trying to keep things the same
Mhm.
and keep the other person feel safe and secure in that
Yeah.
relationship. Now your goal is to help each other grow, right? Like, even when you let each other go, I remember you were saying that he even said, like, okay, you want to grow, then grow. We're gonna open this up
Mhm.
and let you grow. And then you're like, yeah, and you grow too. You go and experiment and you go and learn and we grow, right? And then if we grow together or alongside with each other, how fun is that?
Yeah.
And if we go this way and come back, that's good too. Or if we go this way and keep going, that's okay too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, how interesting how this played out, because at first, but when we were still together, I debated about this whole thing for a long time, and I was like, what if we have like an open relationship, or like, what if we try to figure that out? Because we're best friends, and we're just like us, we just fit so well together, and we we have so much fun, and it's just like it's such a good relationship that we had, and I was like, why do I have to give that up to do what I wanted to do in the first place, to be able to have my freedom and do all this. I'll read that in a second. I just have a thought.
Yeah.
And so I'm like there's
Why
that's
do I
just
have to give
not
this up, right? It's
yeah, but at the time I was like, no, I think this is the best way to go, because one of us, probably both of us, will end up getting hurt somehow, just because of we're not ready for this, our insecurities, all of that. Like, it's just better to just separate it and make
hmm
it clear, the two distinction, like,
hmm
we are done so that I can do this. But now it's like, I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I think I kind of have an open relationship now. Like, I kind of got what I wanted, because we got to, like I said earlier, we went through the whole process of breaking up, going through that, and then being okay with being on our own, and the other person being on their own and having their own freedom. Like, we're okay with that now, and then still being able to express our love for each other now, and now it's like I still have the same person there for me, supporting me, loving me, but I also get to have my freedom and what I wanted, and like, so I'm really excited about that. It just started though, so I'm like, we still have a lot of work to do, still have a lot of, you know, I have to be very conscious through it, and communication and all that. So it's going to be a journey, I think, but I'm actually really excited about it, and I think it's a good thing for me to experience. And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, sometimes I just simplify things down really a lot for me, so it's easier for me to like process without getting overwhelmed. And I'm like, you know what? I'm still young. I'm still exploring. Like, this is all part of it. Like, even if this ends up being maybe not the best, or maybe it ends up being painful. Like, okay, well, I got to experience that. Like, I'm thinking about this in a way of like, this is what I'm choosing to experience, so I'm gonna do it. Like, all the way or whatever. So we'll see how it
Well, what I
goes.
get from what you're saying is that you have to go through that scary breakup because really, I mean, we just only know how to God, when it comes to relationship, I mean, like we can put a man on the moon and how advanced technology is, and now we have robots, doing shit for us. And yet, when it comes to relationship, we're still so archaic and so limited in our
Yeah.
technology and our tool bag, right? And I really do see the young people are coming on, with exploring different y- y- uh, you guys are now not even you guys. Is it you got your generation or the one even younger than you? But your generation and younger or newer onto the planet, you guys are like experimenting with more than he, she. It's like, whoa, there's more than he, she. What do
Yeah.
you know that, right? But really, when it comes to relationship too, yeah, I know the open relationship has been around for a long time since the 60s or even before that, right? I get that, but it was underground and it's never really well nourished and
And it wasn't
accepted.
really accepted. It was kind of like,
Yeah, it's always icky like
yeah.
this, instead of like, no, you know what? That's a really challenging place to be in, to really love for the of love and to love openly and supporting each other rather than ownership and possession.
Mhm.
And no, you cannot look at someone else because you make me feel insecure. Like, no, really, you, who are you and what is it that you want right now? So go out there and explore and experience. And I'm right here supporting you if you want me to, right? And if I feel sad or insecure or jealousy, that's my stuff that I need to own and work on.
Mhm.
And then he or she can help you.
Right.
It's like, oh, are you sad? Are you jealous? I want to hear it, but it's not your stuff. You don't take
Yeah.
his stuff on, which is such a powerful place to be in. I love oh, look at all these comments that we're getting.
Yeah,
Exploring
these
and
are really nice.
experimenting your sexuality and not judging or questioning. It's unbelievable empowering. Absolutely. And it's just like, I'm so tired of parents advising, telling their children that they should, just wait and meet someone and marry them and have kids. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing to do to a human soul. So
Yeah.
clearly I don't fit in a lot of boxes out there. And it is, as a mom, I have to tell you, I struggle with both sides of this because I of course I know what you're doing is amazing. And of course, you come from me and you've heard me talk to clients for the last 19 years that you came out of me. So it's all this is ingrained and you came with it, right? But as a human mom, I still cringe. I still have
Yeah.
the old conditioning, right? I'm like, when you said you're gonna have this boyfriend, I'm like, oh no, not a boyfriend. So the coach mom and me going, oh no, not the boyfriend. That's horrible. You're gonna be stuck in that forever. But then you guys are doing so well and everything's so lovely. I'm like, oh yay! The other mom, the street mom, and you're going, oh yay, she has a boyfriend. He's so good to her. That's exciting. And then when you're like, I think I'm gonna have to break up with him, I'm like, oh no, she's gonna have to go out there and meet other men who are not gonna be so good. And then the coach mom in me is like, yay, okay, how can we support you? How can we love you? But the street mom is like, and then you're
Yeah.
like, I'm on Tinder and I'm gonna go see people, and I'm like, oh no, safety, you're not safe. And so it's like a big old stretch in my heart of just watching and supporting and trusting. There are nights, since we don't live together, and most people don't, just because they don't know that we there are nights I do, not very often, but I have to say that once in a while, just it's only been twice that I just like woke up out of fear in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh my God, is she out somewhere, fucking with somebody? Where is she? And then I look at the phone and to see your location, it's like, oh, she's at home in her own bed. Oh,
She's
okay, I
safe.
can go to bed.
Yeah, I get that.
I know. And I love that you and and you went to sleep with some guy in his house for the first time just a couple weeks ago, right? And so street mom's like, ah, and then coach mom's like, oh, how did it go? What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to help you write your your dating description so that you can bring in
Yeah.
more teachers, more experiences that is powerful for you rather than just college boy looking for a hole to
Yeah,
stick
it's
his dick
gross.
in.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this is not that's not exactly what I wanted.
No. I want you
Yeah.
to have real men out there who have experience and really just wanted permission from a woman to pleasure her, to show
Mhm.
her what pleasure look like. and and when he doesn't have to be cute, he doesn't have to be tall, handsome, eye candy shit, because those guys don't need to learn anything about women. They are just mostly good. They're like, I can get sex, I don't need to learn about it. Yeah, sex is easy, right? It's the ugly men that really know how to pleasure. Now, I know I'm exaggerating, and yes, there are some cute men out there. That's so great. Good for you. do,
Yeah.
Maya, and teach her something. But on the other hand, there are really great men that really just want full permission to pleasure a woman and bless her and thank her, and he will take that with him for the rest of his life. He will cherish that memory and all that stuff. So we can like bring those men forth. And those men who are watching this is not an invitation for you
Not
to
you. We're not
spam
talking
us,
about
not
you.
you.
Absolutely
Unless you're
not.
really, really good, but not in
No,
your mind.
no,
Yeah, no, no.
you're not. I already know you're not. Sorry. I'm
No,
not
really. I mean,
impressed.
we have to keep saying this because we do. I mean, like every day we get, hey girl. It's like, first of all, you don't call us girl, even though Maya is still kind of girl quality. I'm not a girl. I'm a woman. Hey lady, hey beautiful is somewhat acceptable. And then don't tell us that your dick is hard and you would like to wank it off while watching us. That's fine if you do. It's okay. But don't tell us, we don't really want to know. It's not hot to us. Not when we are not asking for it. Anyway,
Also,
all right.
what's the deal with dick pics? Like, who said, who told men that that was a cute thing? Like, who said, yeah, women really like to see that. Like, that'll get them going. No. No. Who said that? I'm just really confused where that concept came from.
Well, maybe after, a while, then dick pic might be helpful. No?
Yeah, but
Not in the
if
beginning.
you
Not
just,
the first thing. That's
I have
not
no
something
idea
that
who
you
you
said to
are,
him.
and all of a sudden, oh, hey, here's my penis. I'm like, okay. And
Well, because
walk.
that men, we do things in the world because that's how we want it done. So men would love it if we just go, "Hey, here's my vagina." We're like, that's men are from Mars and women are from Venus. That's just how it goes. Anyway, we love our viewer. We do thank you for watching, and we do thank you for comments and thumbs up and love and hearts and share. We do, and even with the icky men, we love that you're watching and that you get some pleasure out of this. That's good. Just don't make it icky to us. That's all we're asking. Okay. All right. My friend used to say that a penis is not attractive. That's why it's meant to go inside. Jules, you're
Oh,
so
that's
good. We have to
funny.
get Jules on one of these shows. My friend used to say that the penis is not attractive. That's why it's meant to go. Now, I have to say that after my own PhD, I actually had made peace with the penis, and I do see that when I didn't think the penis was beautiful was my own sexual shame and my own sexual. I didn't think my vagina was cute either, but now I love her. And good news, the doctor just had my little annual thing, and the doctor said it looks so peaceful in there. And I'm like,
Oh.
yes, I work very hard to have a peaceful vagina in there. Okay. Anyway, on that note, I think we should go. We thank you for watching, and any comments, any kudos, help us share, help us keep this alive, so that we can continue to bring healthy and wholesome conversation to the world.
Yeah.
This is Mabel. Oh, if you want to find me, you can find me at Bold Brave Woman, Bold Brave Woman on Facebook or on Instagram, Bold Brave Woman. And Maya is not searchable because she wants to maintain her safety, which as a street mom, totally love it. As coach mom, totally love it too. So you can go to me. I'm her gatekeeper.
Yeah.
All right. Have a wonderful day and see you next week. We broadcast every Friday. Ciao.
Okay. Bye.